All right, let's make this short and sweet. Today's not about mass. Today is about population. China has over 1.4 billion people in China. 1.4 billion. The U.S. has 331 million people. China, 1.4 billion. U.S., 331 million. It's over that. Slightly over 331 million. Okay? Now, in the U.S. is reporting 98,000 deaths. Plus, it's like 98,223, but that number changes. 98,000 deaths in the U.S. for this, I don't even want to say the name of it. You know the name. COVIDs of the no bees. 98,000 deaths in the U.S. Okay? In China, 4,000 deaths. Yo, what's wrong with that? 1.4 billion people in China, 4,000 deaths. 4,634 deaths. And that's a updated list. I mean, it's like they scraped around to find a couple of people to add to it or whatever. U.S., 98,000 deaths. Oh, it gets better, though. It gets better. Remember, it's only 4,000 deaths reported in China. The whole China, 1.4 billion people where this thing started, 4,000 deaths. U.S., this shit didn't start here, according to y'all. 98,000 deaths in the U.S., 331 million. Y'all start writing this shit down. Wearing masks just looks crazier and crazier. Now, there have been more deaths in New York City than China. New York City's got 8 million people in it. I'm talking about in the city. I'm not talking about in the state. Even at the state level, it's just over 19 million. 8.5 million, just over 8.5 million people in New York City. Okay? And New York City is like 7,492 miles away from China. Okay? 16,000 deaths in New York City. China's got 1.4 billion people in it. It's got 4,000 deaths. This shit ain't adding up, is it? No, it gets better. All right. So then you follow the money. Now, I ain't a Chinese expert by no means, but I hear that the money is in Shanghai. Okay. Shanghai's got 27 million people in it. Sounds like a lot. When I get to these other provinces, it's not a lot according to China. You know what I mean? The wealthy people apparently live in Shanghai. They've had 6 deaths. 27 million people in Shanghai. They've had 6 deaths from the COVID nobies. From the Kobe cooties. Okay? Kobe cooties in Shanghai, 6 deaths that they're reporting. It's like they scraped together to find 6 people that died that they can pin on COVID. 27 million people in Shanghai. Shanghai is 9 hours away from Wuhan. 9. You can't make this shit up. Okay? Hell, Wuhan only had 3,000 deaths. Almost 4,000. 3,869 deaths. Slightly more than that now. But 3,869 deaths. Wuhan's got 8 million people in it. Okay, so New York City's got 8.5 million. Wuhan, where it started, has 8 million. So same population. Okay? The deaths. New York City, 16,000 deaths. 16,410. Wuhan, 3,000. And when you start getting to the other provinces, that's when it gets interesting. Like Beijing is only 11 hours away from Wuhan. Okay? They got 20 million people in their shit. 8 deaths. 8 reported deaths of the Kobe cooties. All right? You got, I'm going to fuck up some of these provinces because I don't speak Mandarin or Chinese and none of that. Jiangxi. Okay? It's got 80 million people. Okay? It's 8 hours away from Wuhan. 0 deaths from the Kobe cooties. All right? Jiangxi, JienYSU, something like that. It's 8 hours away from Wuhan. It's got 0 deaths from the Kobe cooties, and they got 80 million residents there. They're only 8 hours away from Wuhan. It's crazy. Okay, so Yunnan, Yunnan, they reported 2 deaths. They have 45 million people in that province, and they're 23 hours away from Wuhan. Gets better. Okay. Jiangxi, and I know I fucked that up, so I'm gonna spell it Jiansxi or GXI, Jiangxi. Okay, they got 45 million people there. 1 COVID death. 1. They're 5 hours away from Wuhan. If this ain't adding up for y'all, nothing will. Fujian, and I know I'm messing that up, but Fujian, 7 hours away from Wuhan. They got 38 million people there. They got 1 death. 1 Kobe Cootie's death. Okay. Zhejlang, Zhejlang, 7 hours away from Wuhan. They got 1 death that they reported. 57 million people there. So what I'm learning about China, just looking at the demographics, is that there are, we always knew there was a bunch of people in China. There are really a lot of people in China. And apparently where this COVID Kabasca sausage started, it's like they're pretty impervious to it, apparently, because in all of China, 1.4 billion people in China, 4,000 people died. 4,000. 1.4 billion, 4,634 deaths in China. While in New York City, more than 4 times the amount of deaths. I cringe at doing the math at the population. It's 8.5 million versus 1.4 billion. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. And you all running around breathing your own carbon dioxide. You're making it worse. Now, I know people talking about second wave. Get your potassium up. You gotta stop eating garbage, man. Get your potassium up. All right, did I talk about all the provinces I wanted to talk about? No, I left out one. Hubei. Hubei. Okay, they're 2 hours away from Wuhan. They have 3,212 deaths. So when I look at the provinces in China, the 2 that has more, there's only 2 provinces in China that's got more than 25 deaths. And it's a big number. So you have Wuhan that's got 3,869, and you got Hubei, which is Hubei, that's got 3,212. But all the other provinces got 0, 2, 1, 8, 1, 1, 1, 0. It's just weird how it's spread out right there in China. It's like they just hit, like only 2 areas were really hit, Wuhan and Hubei. And even in Hubei, there's 75 million people in Hubei. 75 million, okay? There's only 19 million people in all of New York State. All right? So 312 or 3,212 deaths in Hubei with a population of 75 million, and they're 2 hours away from Wuhan. Okay, but other places that are close to Wuhan, 1 death. Zhejlang's got 57 million people in there, 1 death. Fujian's got 38 million people, 1 death. Both 7 hours away from Wuhan. Jiangxi's got 45 million people. It's got 1 death, 5 hours away from Wuhan. You know what I mean? But the United States is way on the other side of the world. We have 98,000 people have died, according to the CDC, from Kobe Cooties in the U.S. 98. Maybe China knows something we don't about healthcare. I'm just saying. I mean, if it started there, and they have 1.4 billion people there, and only 4,000 have died in 1.4 billion. Is 4,000 people dying in a population of 1.4 billion enough to shut down the country? I mean, even if these 98,000 deaths here in the U.S. are fraudulent, you had people with previous conditions that Yeah, these daggone these doctors and what were sent instructions on how to classify the death certificates. Some of them have walked out. It's I I mean, if none of this is rubbing off on you, you're just supposed to be lost. I'm not walking around with a mask. You can't order me to breathe my own carbon dioxide. Okay, all right, and we're not really fearing your second wave because we are not eating your crap foods. We're just not. We're not eating your crap foods, man. We're not. I'm not saying we have it mastered as far as health goes or whatever. We're not saying that. We're not eating what you're eating, that's for sure. We're not letting you inject us with anything. You will not be injecting us with anything. Okay? I'm going to do a special shout out to the white men who show up to let you know they tired of being locked in the house, armed, at your jobs, where you are not wearing masks. Okay? That's going to be the next video. That's gonna be. Listen, man. You gotta. Sometimes you just gotta give people props. I mean, they can get away with stuff that we can't get away with. Okay, you're not letting black. It's not about race. Right? I'm not gonna make it about race. What I'm saying is, you're not gonna let a bunch of black people walk up in somebody's job armed with guns and stuff. You need to tell you guys that we are tired of being inside. Okay. Y'all shooting black guys with candy bars in their pocket. So a white man can get away with that. Yeah. It's not being reported on the news, but you can look for it. It's there. Yeah, they showing up to people's jobs. Yeah. And we're gonna let them handle that. Not that we don't support them. We do support them. We do support that, absolutely. But cops seem to be more afraid to shoot their own than to shoot us. So I mean, when their own people, when white men walk up on white men with guns, cops are a little less trigger happy, and we enjoy watching that. We enjoy watching that. So you white men with a soul, continue to do what you're doing. That's awesome. We support that. We support that. That's gonna be another video. I just wanted to touch base on these daggone numbers because I hate to quote rappers, particularly Jay-Z. But men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. U.S. deaths, 98,000 plus and climbing fast. The U.S. deaths for the Kobe Coochies is climbing fast. Interesting enough, Kobe Bryant was buried in a place called Corona. I looked that up. 1.4 billion people in China, 4,000 deaths. Something's wrong. Something don't smell right, Lucy. Something's wrong. Something's not adding up, Lucy. You're not telling me the truth, Lucy. You're not telling me the truth. Get your potassium up, your magnesium, and your iron. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good night.